Pop us a comment in, let us know that you've done a catch-up. It's always good to know you've done a catch-up, and we will come back to you. We'll let you know. Right. I'm going to leave you there, going to pop across and say hello to the live as they start to come in. Mrs. Perry, you have changed your icon. You're trying to catch me out there. Good afternoon, Mrs. P. Good to have you with us. A wave to Kels. Hello, Kels. Diane Edwards is in with us as well. Welcome on board. Welcome to the Movement Mansion. This is our lunchtime, our noon snack. And once again, as I did yesterday, I forgot to bring my list over. Bear with me a sec. It's a rush and a panic for you, isn't it? What's it do to us? Oh, how we doing? We okay? Oh, hi there, Kels. Hey up, me duck. How we doing? Who else have we got? Diane Edwards. I've said hello to her, Diane, haven't I? Got me tinny. Hopefully it's a tin of food. Or is it a tinny? You know? It's a bit of an Australian thing there, isn't it? Tinny. Tinny and bottles ready to swig. Sounds good to me. Pop a duck on the barbie, perhaps. That is my attempt at an appalling Australian accent, and I do apologise to any Antipodeans out there. There he goes with these big words. If you are an Antipodean, I do apologise for my appalling attempt at a Australian accent. It comes from watching Neighbours as a child. There you go. Right, moving on. Christine Lewis, hello. We have overcast skies. It is grey, murky. It's going to rain later. Shall I tell you how I know? Because the window cleaners have been and cleaned the windows this morning. It's going to rain. I know. It's like when you have your car washed. It rains. You know? It's the way of the world, isn't it? Carol Kent, good afternoon to you. Just in from weeding the garden. I thought you said wedding the garden then. I'd have a close look. A wedding in the garden? Weeding the garden. Just doing some back extensions. I don't blame you. It's tough work. Gardens are dangerous, you know? And what I mean by that is they're one of those things that you go out and think, oh, I'll just do this. I'll just pull these few weeds up. And before you know it, 3 hours later, you've weeded the whole garden. You've moved shrubs around. You've done this, that and the other. You've painted a fence. If you're Kelsey, you've built a whole new back garden. And you think, oh, I only came out to do a bit of weeding. Dangerous places. Diane, good afternoon to you. Also got your hand weights, so can drink my tinny early. Vivian, hello to you. Tidying up the greenhouse this morning. Lots of garden activity going on. An alligator. Crocodile Dundee, hey? Gloria, g'day, I'm in Australian again. Good afternoon to you. Hope you're okay. You found us. Welcome. It's good to have you with us. Hope you're doing all right. George, Mr. G is in the house. Still sunny but windy in Cruden Bay. That'll be the beans, George. Diane Edwards, good afternoon to you. Aussies don't get offended easily. Good, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. We all, you know, we should lighten up a bit, shouldn't we, as a whole? But it's an appalling Australian accent, that was. Gillian Matthews, hello. Everyone, weather can't make its mind up here today. A bit like that here today as well. Maddie Stranger, good afternoon to you. Adil, good afternoon in from Cambridge. Just in from seeding. Fingers crossed. Kate, hope the seedlings go all right. Or seeds go all right, then they'll turn into seedlings, won't they? Sandra Hewitt, good afternoon to you. You have your 1.25 weights by your side, ready to go when you are. I'm ready to go, ready to rock and roll this place. Christine Lewis, good afternoon to you. I've not seen mine for a year and a half. What's that? Garden? Ooh, what have I talked about? What have I talked about? Well, you haven't seen them for a year and a half. Oh, Christine Lewis. Oh, you window cleaner. Right, I'm with you. Wendy Crange, hello. And Sheila Day, oops, arriving just in time. Well, yeah, you're just in time. Say hi to sister at the beach at the coast again. Right, listen, if you want to lose the comments off the bottom of the screen, swipe them to the right and they will be gone. Should we have our 3, 2, 1? Shall I do my best Kelsey impression? I haven't got the hair for it, look. She's always got a nice, you know, she's always got a ponytail or something, hasn't she? I haven't even got that. Like, this is the best I can do. There you go, look. Okay, there you go. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along. You're with Dave Montgomery from Later Life Training. Today is Tuesday, the 11th of May, 2021, and this is our second opportunity to add additional movement minutes into our day. If you'd like me to say that slower, then I'll take a breath. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along. You're with Dave Montgomery from Later Life Training. It is 12 noon, just gone. Let's have our movement snack for today, shall we? Right, as always, we can do it in a standing or we can do it in a seated position. I'm getting less excited now, so I'll slow down a little bit. Right, bring ourselves in. As always, we've got a clear space around us, nothing that we could fall over, nothing that's going to cause us a trip hazard. Sensible shoes on so we can feel the floor beneath our feet. We can feel the toes engaging with those that footwear as well. We're going to work at our own pace. Whatever your range of motion is, whatever your speed of doing something is correct. But remember, we don't want to do anything too fast. It's about technique. It's about getting it to give us the most effectiveness, really. In our standing position, we've got some fixed external support available. My tinny ready. I don't always have a tin of Jolly Green Giant sweet corn on me mantelpiece. Usually a clock there, which is over there at the moment. So in our standing position, we've got ourselves with our heels in line with our hips and our knees. Our knees are remaining soft. We're not allowing them to bend too much, but we're not locking them out. Lift and lengthen out from your hips to create this little bit of extra space between your ribs and your hips. And then lift the shoulders up, take them back and press them back down so we open this chest cavity. Lengthen through our neck as well. In our seated position, the first thing we need to do is bring our back off the chair. So from here, sit that little bit taller. Let the core, let the abs and the trunk do the support work. Lift and a shift to hip walk into the front third of the chair. And you know, this is a great place to come to a standing position from. In our standing position, as in our seated position, we have our heels in line with our knees and our knees are in line with our hips. There's no different there, okay? Lift and lengthen out from your hips. There's no different there. It's, you know, it's like déjà vu, isn't it? Lifting the shoulders up, taking them back and pressing down so we've got this good, tall, lifted posture. Let's start with our circulation boosting, shall we? Bringing ourselves up onto the ball of the feet and the toes, pressing the toes down into the floor so we start to feel some engagement through our calves. And remember, the speed of this, whatever it is right for you. Here we're starting to get some movement happening. And it's a flowing movement. So rather than it being a juddering type movement, it's a quite nice flowing movement that starts to say to the body, do you know what? I'm ready to start doing something. So let's boost this circulation a little bit. Let's get the heart to say, come on, we'll pump a bit more blood around the body. Now we make this a bit higher intensity wise by making it a bigger move rather than a faster move. So in seated and in standing, we start to bring the foot off the floor one at a time, so that we get the into a march type motion, bigger movement. Now this gives us the chance to start to do some mobilization within our ankles as well, as we start to get, oh, it's my badge. I'm thinking, what am I hearing clicking? It's my badge clicking against the side of the chair. I'm thinking, what's creaking? Is this chair going to give way under me? I hope not. But I can start to get some movement into my ankles. Now, seated, I can start to feel it. There's a bit of fatigue coming in here into those hips. So we might want to come back into a heel raise, or how about a little toe tap? Something different, just so we've got that movement still happening. In standing, we can see that position a little bit better with the feet, toes starting to point down towards the floor. We're standing tall still, we're keeping that good posture, and we can start to get that ability to get that movement in there. Now, as always, around about this time, we say hello to Mr. Arm. We're going to start with Mr. Left today. I always start with Mr. Left because I face this way. I wouldn't say this is my best side. That's not why I do it, because this is definitely my best side. That's what people tell me anyway. We add the arm in. We drive the elbow backwards, working through our shoulder. Now, the reason I want to point this out to you is because we don't want it to be a swing. We don't want it to be a pendulum type driven motion. We want it to be driven from the elbow, so we really start to mobilize those shoulders. Now, if your support's to the side of you and you're using it, take a pause, as many steps as you need to turn into your support to the other side. And then from there, you can start yourself going again with the other side. And the hands never left the support. There was always a hand in contact. So if you've got your support in front of you and you've got enough room for your knees, Then you've got the ability to place the hand down, bring the other hand off, and away you go. And you can change from side to side as many times as you want to. Seated, standing. If we feel steady, stable and coordinated, then both arms, both legs together. Bigger movement because more of the body is moving. Heart should feel as though it's pumping a little bit faster. We should feel as though we're breathing a little bit heavier, and that's exactly what we want. A couple of minutes of this in total from start to finish. Slow it down just a little bit, bring ourselves to a pause, and at this point, should feel as though we want to take a couple of deep breaths. Important to note, we shouldn't be out of breath. If we're there, next time, make your movements a little bit smaller, perhaps a little bit slower still. You want to feel that you're breathing a little bit harder, but you shouldn't be really out of breath. Right, let's get ourselves started. So, we've got some movements that are going to challenge our balance, and we've got some movements that are going to work on our strength, but also our mobility and our flexibility as well. Our first movement is going to be, yesterday we stepped over an object, didn't we? So we had that object to step over. We're going to take it into a lunging type motion and a reaching motion here. So with my support to the side of me, if I'm going to use my support, my hand comes in front of me, because as I come forward, my body's going to come forward, my centre of gravity is going to come forward, and if I've got my hand in front of me, when I've taken that movement forward, I'm level with my support. Okay? So for our lunge, we step forward, heel down, toe down, and we're onto our back leg, onto our toes at the back. Now, have a look at the base movement first, here, okay? And that may be where you want to stop. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, take it a little bit deeper by bending that back knee and lowering it down towards the floor. But have a look at this front knee. You're not going to stay here, don't worry. Have a look at this front knee. It's not going in front of my toes. So the weight comes down through into my heel, not through my knees. So, tinny involved in there as well if you want to. This is the point at which you can start to add some movement in. So if you're going to use your support, hand in front, step forward, whichever level you want to take it to, and reach forward with your tin and bring it back in. If you feel comfortable without support, then you can have your tin in both hands. Step forward, push forward, bring it back in and step back in. Now, as you step back in, as the heel goes down first, we're onto our toes, we push through that heel. We bring ourselves in and the toes come down first. If you're using your support to the side, you do a few on one side and then turn into the support as many steps as you want to and change to the other side. Seated. So in our seated position, we have a similar movement, and we've got the ability here to be able to use both legs at the same time. So again, with our tin, you may feel more comfortable with one hand at a time. You might feel that you want to give it a go with both hands. So sitting tall, we step forward, heel down, toe down, reach forward with that hip hinge from our hips, believe it or not, that's why it's called a hip hinge. And then we bring it back in, toe and heel. Now the height of this is where you want it to be. So if it's down here a bit more, that's fine. If we can go for about chest height, brilliant. Remember, we're hinging, so it's going to be a bit lower down at the other end. That's our first part of that movement. If you want to feel the back leg working as well as we do in our standing position, then as you step away, bring yourself up onto your toes at the back. You may not be able to see that very clear that side. If I do it with the other side, look, heel, toe down, and then onto my toes as I reach forward with this hip hinge. And it is just that hip hinge. The back is staying straight. Again, with your weight, remember, in seated and in standing, change leg every time. In standing, if you're using your support, do a few on one side, turn into your support and change to the side. But feel how that feels, believe it or not. Stepping forward, reaching forward and pulling back in. Now let's think about times when we may actually use this movement. We might be reaching into the back of a cupboard, and it may not be as extreme as this. It might not be as obvious as this movement, but there are going to be times when we take perhaps a little step forward and we reach into the cupboard. Yeah, all we're doing is we're extending it a little bit more to work into the strength and the power within these thighs. If we can build strength and maintain strength in those thighs, then that helps with getting out of the chair, getting out of bed, getting in and out of the bath, in and off the toilet, in and off, on and off the toilet. Don't get in it, you'll get wet. On and off the toilet, all those sorts of things. We use them all the time. That's movement number 1 for you. Okay, movement number 2. Now, we can do this in a standing or we can do it in a seated position. In our morning mobility routine, we do a side bend, don't we? Where we come down to the side and we pause in the centre. Let's take that to another degree. So, we can either have our chair by the side of us. That's probably not going to be much of a challenge for me. It might be for yourself. Bit of a wider base of support. Reach down, pick that tin up, bring it in. Reach down, place it down, bring it back in. Yeah, that is the movement we're going to. Now, the range of where you want to take that to in a standing position is up to you. You may just want to come here and actually reach down and bring it back in, but we're adding that extra weight in there to add some mobility still, but a bit of strength into these side muscles as well, because we're asking it to pick something up. Where we might feel that we get more out of that is if we use the floor and a chair. So sitting in our chair, sitting tall, we're going to come down. We're going to try and keep that bottom down on there. Reach for that tin, bring it back up, change the position, reach back down, place it down, come back up, reach down, pick up the tin, bring it back into the centre, change it over and place it down. Right, now have a look from the side. Because although we're still placing that tin down on the floor, we're taking it a bit further than we would do normally, we still want to maintain that upright position. So we don't want to come forward or backwards. So have a look at where the tin is. It's roughly in line with my chair leg. And from here, lifted and lengthened, I'm going to come down to the side, reach that little bit further, come on up and lift that tin. Can you see how we still go straight down, straight up? What you should hopefully be able to notice there, certainly from the front, is I'm not lifting right off. So I'm keeping my bottom firmly on the chair, seat. That's the words I'm looking for. Likewise, if I'm doing this with perhaps a small coffee table to the side of me, I'm coming down, I'm placing it onto there, I'm never allowing my foot to come off the floor, so I'm always keeping myself firmly in contact with that floor with this big wide base of support. Okay, that is your second move. Now let's think couch potato for a minute, only for a minute. TV remote, sat in your armchair at night and the TV remote's down by the side, you reach down. It might be that the paper's down there or you've dropped something on the floor. It could be we're in a restaurant when we're able to start going back to them, hopefully from next week. Handbag down by the side, ladies. You want to reach in and pick it up. Men, you might have a man bag, you know. You might be something down there you want to reach in to get into. If playing golf, you might want to reach in to get a new golf ball out. And if we can work on this strength side of things at the same time as our mobility, that is going to work for us, isn't it? Okay, that is move number 2. And move number 3. Let's work into our back, all right? But we're going to work into our shoulders as well. Now again, we do, as part of our progress check every month, we do this movement here, don't we, where we reach behind and come down here, yeah? Or we take it there. Let's have a look at working, at trying to make that move a little bit easier for us and building some strength at the same time. This could be the point at which I do my E.T. impression, look. In the front of the bike, but it won't be. If you want to use your weight again, standing tall, let's bring the arm here and let's take it down behind our head and back up a little bit. So we're starting here and going backwards. Now, that might feel too much for you because that's going to help as far as that range of motion is concerned. So listen to your body, all right? If it does, then what we're going to do with our standing position and support, take a bit of a staggered stance. So the leg that is closest to the support, we can keep where it is. We can step back a little bit on our other leg and we put our hand in front of us to allow us to have this hinged position. So I turn around to my favourite side. Just because the window's there, I can be nosy at the same time. That's what it is. Here, look. Pull up and push down. But can you see how I keep that arm in towards my body? I don't let the elbow come out, so I work into the back of my arm, and I'm working into that shoulder as well. Yeah, so this is our movement, lifting and lowering. Change to the other side. If you feel comfortable with this, if that works for you, then that's the same movement basically, but it's just really working into that shoulder. Now that is a difficult move for a lot of us, and you might find that one side is better than the other. In seated, if we're going to do that, then again, we take a little bit of a staggered stance to allow ourselves to hinge forward. This arm comes straight down and we come up. And what we're doing is we're bringing the tin in towards our armpit with that elbow staying tucked in. So it's not coming out here, it's staying tucked in. Think about lifting a shopping bag and putting it right up here. Not that we would really do that. I guess, ladies, it could be putting your handbag on your shoulder, that movement there, and then pop it over on the shoulder. But it's this movement here that's going to build strength into the back of our arm, which is partly what that move is about, but it's also about maintaining and mobilising into that shoulder joint. Let's think about, certainly one of the things that comes up every now and again that you wish you could do straight off, don't you? About a good old back scratch. Or if you need to be here. Yeah, it's those sorts of things. Working in those arms, we're building strength, and these are the opposite muscles to when we lift something. So if we're bringing something down from a cupboard, it's these muscles here that are instigated as far as that is concerned. But at the same time, it's giving us some shoulder mobility. Now again, in our seated position, if this feels okay for you, you can go there with that lower and reach, but make sure you stay upright. So have a look here, as I've got that there, I'm staying upright and bringing the arm down and taking it back up. But I'm staying upright the whole time. I'm not allowing my neck to scrunch down. There it is. That is our movements for today. That is our snack. I'm going to leave you there. Lots of things for you to crowbar in. Have a go. Have a bit of a back scratch later if you need to. Have a wonderful afternoon, everybody. I'm back with you tomorrow at noon. And I will see you then. Have a good afternoon. Keep crowbarring in some additional activities. Make sure you keep movement on your radar throughout the rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Doodle pips.